Today, we're not just talking about grammar. Nope, we're getting behind the controls of a time machine. We're going to master the English tenses, which are basically the levers and dials that let you jump through time in your stories, making them way clearer, way more powerful. So, you ready to take the controls?
You know that feeling, right? You're in the middle of a great story, and then you freeze up. Should you say, I did it, or I have done it? It's such a common problem. But that confusion, it stops the second you stop thinking about boring rules and start thinking like a time traveler.
And this right here is the whole game changer. Seriously, forget about memorizing endless charts and rules. I want you to see each tense as a different button on the dashboard of your own personal time machine. Each one lets you, the storyteller, decide exactly when and where your audience is in the story.
Okay, first stop right here, in the now, the present. Now, our time machine has two main controls for this moment, and really getting the hang of switching between them, well, that's the very first step to becoming a master pilot of this thing. The present simple, think of this as your control for setting the baseline reality. It's for all the permanent, unchanging facts about your world. You know, the stuff that's always true or happens like clockwork. So you'd say, I live in London. That's your permanent situation, your home. Or she plays tennis every Tuesday. That's her habit, her routine. These are the fixed, solid points in your story. And you gotta watch for those little signal words like often or sometimes. They're like blinking lights on your dashboard telling you, hey, use this control.
But what about stuff that isn't permanent? For those temporary things, actions that are happening right this second or for a limited time, well, you need a different control for that. That's the present continuous. This is for all the in-progress parts of your world. And right here is where you feel the real power of that choice. If you say, I live in London, it feels permanent, right? It's your home. But if you say, I'm living in London, boom, suddenly we know it's temporary. The whole meaning of your situation changes, just with that one little tweak. That's the kind of control you have. All right, time machine engaged. Let's punch it and travel back into the past. Now, this is where things can sometimes get a little tricky for people, but we're going to make it super simple by focusing on just one crucial question. Is the past action totally finished, or does it somehow connect to right now? So the past simple is your control for putting a past event into a box and sealing that box shut. The action started in the past. It ended in the past, and it has a clear timestamp on it, like yesterday, last week, or back in 2003. It is over. Finito. Done. So when you say, I went to the cinema yesterday, you are basically telling your listener that this entire event is locked firmly in the past. The whole story is about yesterday. It's a closed chapter. Okay, but here's the big question. What if a past action isn't just some historical fact? What if it has a real, actual consequence in the present moment? To show that connection, we need a special tool. We're going to need a bridge. And that bridge, that is the present perfect. Its entire job, its whole purpose is to connect the past to the present. It tells your listener, hey, pay attention. Something happened back then, and that is why the situation is what it is right now. Just think about this. Leonardo painted the Mona Lisa. That's past simple. It's a historical fact. It's finished. But what if you say, I've lost my keys? The action of losing them happened in the past, sure, but the result is happening right now. I can't get in my house. You're using the past to explain your current problem. That is the bridge in action. See the difference? Now, let's get fancy. Great storytellers don't just list a bunch of events, right? They create a scene, an atmosphere. And for that, you use the past continuous. It's like the background music or the soundtrack to your movie. The birds were singing and the sun was shining. And right in the middle of that beautiful ongoing scene, bam, he sat down and ordered a coffee. You use the past simple for those quick main actions that happen against that background. It's that combination, the long, humming background scene and the short, sharp action that makes a story feel totally alive. Okay, back to the dashboard. Let's punch the controls and jump forward into the future. Now, talking about what's next usually boils down to two main choices, and it all comes down to your intention at the moment of speaking. So, how do you pick? Just think of it like this. If you have a plan, something you decided before you started speaking, you use going to. You see the empty milk carton, the plan is already in your head. I'm going to buy some. Same for predictions when you have evidence. You see dark clouds, so you say, it's going to rain. But will, that's for the future you decide on the spot. A spontaneous offer, oh, I'll help you with that. Or a promise. It's your opinion or a gut feeling, not a pre-made plan.
So we've jumped through the present, we've gone to the past, we've looked into the future, and the biggest takeaway here isn't some complicated rule. It's that you are in the driver's seat. You're the time traveler. Every single tense is a choice, and that choice changes the meaning of your story. This isn't about passing a grammar test anymore. It's about being a better director of your own movie. Are you showing a permanent fact or just a temporary state? Is that past action a sealed memory, or is it echoing into the present? The choice and the power is all yours.
So here it is, your new control panel. Simple for the permanent facts, continuous for what's happening right now, past simple for finished stories, present perfect to build that critical bridge to the present, and for the future, going to for your plans and will for your promises. You've got all the controls.
So I'm going to leave you with this little challenge. You tell the story now. What's the real difference in meaning between saying, I read that book, and I've read that book? You know the answer now. The controls are yours. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.